Some of our favorite late round picks right now on Fantasy Football Today in 5. Well, if you listened to the full-length episode, you heard from Dave and Jamie, their favorite late round picks. So now you get to hear mine, and then Jamie gets to tell you if they're, good picks or if I'm crazy. Well, First of all, Jamie, Nick Chubb, Fantasy Pros ADP, NFC ADP. Nick Chubb right now is not a top 100 pick. So that's kind of what we're using is 100th or later. He's definitely toward the top of my list.
I mean, it's a fantastic call based on what he can be. You just have to be patient for 2 reasons. One, he could open the season on a PUP list. So if you don't have an IR spot, that's going to be frustrating. But if he's, the guy that we know he's capable of, and he's going to be 29 years old toward the end of the season. So he's not really at that point yet of, father time being so much of an issue. But the addition of Deontay Foreman, what Jerome Ford showed us last year, and just the history of this injury, he had a ACL tear, an MCL tear, and a meniscus tear, 2 separate surgeries. The fact that he just started running on land in May, I guess he was running in water if it wasn't running on land, is still concerning. So good investment the later you get him, but you may not get the best of Nick Chubb till the end of the season.
A few players that need to be mentioned, just they are obvious. I mean, I shouldn't say obvious, but they're sort of consensus. Tajay Spears, Christian Watson. Those are 2 guys that are really good picks at that point. Ladd McConkey, players we take a lot earlier. Jaden Daniels, I know, is a late round quarterback that we all like, but some different names. How about Devin Singletary? He goes after pick 100, according to Fantasy Pros. Look, I mean, you could talk about Tyrone Tracy. That's fine. He's a guy who has barely any collegiate work as a running back. He's a converted receiver. There's exciting stuff in the profile, but Singletary is definitely opening as the lead running back for the Giants. He's led his team in rushing every year of his career. And after pick 100, really more like pick 120 or so, Singletary, I like.
I don't disagree. Again, the later you get players like this, the better off they are. This is not somebody you want to reach for, but Brian Daboll's offense has been good when he's had players. And so does Daniel Jones return to the level of play that we saw 2 years ago that made them a playoff team? Does the offensive line rebound and play at a higher level? Is the receiving core going to open up some things in the offense as a whole? Obviously, Singletary has been underrated and performed at a decent enough level that can he be a flex for you? Absolutely. Can he be a number 2 running back? Potentially. Do you want him to be that guy for you? No. That's why he's being drafted in this range. But still the type of guy that can get you quality production. He's just not, I think, the kind of player you put in the league winning category, but serviceable starting type of guy. If he's the worst player on your team, you got a pretty good fantasy team.
I like Justin Herbert late, but he's Justin Herbert. But another guy that I like is Tua Tagovailoa. Last year, he was QB 15 per game, but he played 12 games, the first 12 games of the season with both wide receivers healthy. And he was number 10 per game in 6-point per passing touchdown leagues. I don't really like Tua in 4-point per passing touchdown leagues, but the injuries really did play a role. And he was even better than that in 2022 when he himself was not injured and leaving games early. So this is a guy that if Waddle, Tua, and Hill are healthy all season, I think he's one of the favorites to lead the NFL in passing yards, and Tua's a good late round pick.
He's going to get some easy production also from, what his running backs do in the backfield. I think they upgraded their 3rd receiver with Odell Beckham and Malik Washington. Jonnu Smith is probably an upgraded tight end spot as well. So Mike McDaniel is going to be creative, and this offense is going to be explosive. We'll see defenses start to take things away from them. So Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle may not have as many explosive plays, but I think they do so many things that give cheap yards to their quarterback, which is what makes him successful. And if Raheem Mostert's 18 rushing touchdowns get converted into a few more passing touchdowns, which I think is realistic, then Tua's one of the best values on draft day. So I have him ranked behind the rookie quarterbacks because I think there's more upside with Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels. I may be wrong in that. I may change that at some point between now and August. But I like to pair, those type of players together. So rookie quarterback and Tua is an easy draft strategy if you want to go that route.
Last year, I feel like I have to go back and really confirm this. I feel like I didn't love the handcuff options last year, but this year I feel so different. I think the rookies like Corum and Marshawn Lloyd, and a lot that I'm missing right now, just off the top of my head.
Benson, Tracy.
Yes, exactly. Thank you. Well, Benson, yeah. There's a guy like Chase Brown. Tajay Spears is going late, as I mentioned. All the Chargers running backs are going late. Jerome Ford is going late. Zach Charbonnet is going 136 overall, according to Fantasy Pros. And I'll just throw another name in there. We know Aaron Jones has some injury history, and we know Ty Chandler did a nice job last year late in the season. So I would just say much better handcuff options this year, in my opinion, than what we saw last year. So save room on your roster for one or two of those players. And who do we like best? Well, it may not even matter. It's just a matter of who gets hurt in a lot of these cases. Okay, that's Jamie. I'm Adam. Have a great weekend, everybody, and we'll talk to you on Monday.